Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Quantum Leap morning homework session and trade plan setup for Wednesday, April the 23rd, 2014. My name is Doug McKay. I am the founder and head moderator of Quantum Leap. We are a self-organized learning environment. We've had a private Skype room and chat room for over 4 years now. Each morning we come together and come into a live go-to to take a look at the market structure, take a look at where we are within that structure, and then pick our trade levels and our targets for the day and work out our hypothesis for our trade plan. For those that are joining us from Twitter or YouTube after the fact, we do go through a standard routine of going through the macro to the micro. This is a routine that we go in every morning to prepare ourselves for trading. So if you're watching this on YouTube after the fact, you might want to skip ahead and get to some of the more in-depth chart analysis. Before we do anything, if you want to get more information on Quantum Leap or what I'm doing with Stealth Analytics, you can send me an email at d.mckay@stealthtrader.com. or go to our website, which is epsilon.com, EPCYLON.com, and then look under divisions for Omicron and Stealth Analytics. StealthTrader.com is being built out right now. Got to get the legals out of the way. This information is for the purpose of educating members who want to expand their knowledge of the business of trading. It's not for the trading or investment advice. You and only you are responsible for the trades or investment decisions you make. Trading futures or any instrument involves risk loss. Please consider carefully whether futures or options are appropriate to your financial situation. Only risk capital should be used with trading futures or options. Investors could lose more than initial investment. Nobody at Quantum Leap is a certified trading advisor. We are retail traders operating within a self-organized learning environment. Past performance is not indicative of future results. Any trades that you see in Quantum Leap are for education purposes only. Please trade your own plan, do your own due diligence. All right, so we're going to get right to it and try to get through this session quickly. That's not an easy thing when it comes to me. I have a tendency to drag things out and try to dig too deep sometimes. All right, so let's take a look at where we are in the structure. All right, so currently right now we are trading at 1872.50, right there at one of our main targets, which was 1872.75, I believe, yesterday. So we're trading around that CHGN in this upper distribution. So that's pretty cool. Let's go take a look at the numbers. We're above our year open at 1837.75. That is important because we have been battling in this balance zone that we've been in and been above and below that 1837.75 multiple times. Right now the bulls are winning and we have a bullish year. We are above a very key number, which is 1864.75, 1864.50, 1865. That is the current composite VPOC going back to October the 9th, 2013. It's also our microcomposite VPOC within the overall balance. We'll take a look at this on the composite. Our big number above us is 1892.50. You guys got to be watching this 1892.50. We are accepting balance. We're accepting price higher. Composite, as we talked about yesterday, has shifted higher. We're accepting that balance, and we're likely to get a rotation and a test of the all-time high and the year high at 1892.50, and probably go up and test that 1900 level on this next push that we see. Our month low is 1803, so we're nowhere near that. Our month open for the prior month is 1846. We are above that, and the previous month high is 1887.50. And that is a number that you want to have on your levels today at 1887.50, because this will be a key resistant area for us above us. And then our previous month low is 1823.50, and we closed at 1864, right around that balance zone. We had an open auction outer range yesterday. What a beautiful day yesterday. The hypothesis was dead on. Got that move right off the open, went up and broke through our levels, hit our targets, and then broke through that 76. Didn't get to the 81.50. I thought we'd get there. That was our 20-day ATR target. We got as high as 78.75, just below that CHVN, and buyers stepped in late in the afternoon to keep us down. You can see that the intraday numbers in the Globex going into yesterday were all higher. Globex opened 64.25, high 67, low 60.75, and we opened at 66.75, just outside of range. Our range high from the prior day was 65.50. We opened up at 66.75, and we had a nice move off the open up to take out the overnight high at 67, which we said was likely to happen even before we got into the RTH session, and then go up and test that 70.75 and break through to hit our main target above, which was the 72.75. Opening swing 68.25, high 65.75, low for 2.5 points. Showed a rotational day. We thought it was going to be rotational with an upside bias. That's exactly what happened. Initial balance high 74, initial balance low 65.75 for 8.25 point initial balance. All your RTH intraday numbers, you can see we're still trending up. This is your holiday, that's why it's white. And all the intraday numbers on the RTH session were higher. Higher 1230 number 77.50, higher high 78.75, higher low 65.75, higher close at 74, and the VPOC shifted up 10 points up to 1873. Value continues to be accepted and moved up. Our 20-day ATRs are now starting to tighten. At the RTH 20-day is just over 1850. The full session just under 21, and the Globex just under 9.5, and our value area increased as well. Our value area high 77.50, our value area low 72.50 for a 5-point value area. Volume was, back to getting close to normal, not back to where we thought it would be. 937 on the RTH and just over 1.1 million on the full session. Daily report. Currently, our full session high 75.75, our full session low 70, gives us a 20-day ATR target right now at 1890.75 to the upside, and to the low side 1855. We've got news this morning. We've got the flash manufacturing PMI at 845. These are central times, and then we've got new home sales at 9. And then we've got crude at 9:30. We just had the Canadian core retail. Didn't really do much to the market. So let's take a look at the trends from the macro to the micro, see where we are within the different time frames for trend. If I can find it, there we go. Monthly, we're above the prior month close. We are still maintaining this upward trend. We've got good slope and separation on the 9 EMA and the 20 SMA on the monthly. Trend is very much still intact on the monthly. On the weekly, we had the close 2 weeks ago below the 9 and the 20. Then we popped right back up and closed last week above the 9 and 20. We're back to getting some slope and some separation, and we're trading above the prior 2 weeks, actually prior 3 weeks, actually make that 5 weeks. Closes, so the trend is very much intact on the weekly. Possible head and shoulder pattern, just keep an eye on that in case it develops further. On the daily, showing more consolidation. We're above and below the 9 and the 20. We do have a naked cross on the daily down here at 1853 area. Keep an eye on that. We've got a bit of a technical gap developing on the daily. So, close of that technical gap is probably going to bring us down into that 1859, 1858 area by the time we get there. But likely going to get a little bit of consolidation. It is still early in the day, but we have a possible tech gap with Mr. Sneaky. So keep an eye on that. That could give us a retrace down to close out that tech gap. But the Mr. Sneaky is not set up today yet. But I'll be watching that at the end of the day to see whether or not it is Mr. Sneaky. Then I'd be looking for rotation back down into this 1852 area, if not down into that triple distribution that we've been talking about, down between that 1835 and a quarter, 2950, and 25 and a quarter. Taking a look at the geometric chart, we talked about this breakout yesterday. If we broke above the shorter term, we broke out of the mid-term or the longer-term downward sloping fork. We now have broken out of the shorter-term downward sloping fork, and we said if that happened, we've got to look at a move up to test the center line of the longer-term upward sloping fork, and today that is going to give us a target of around 1897 to 1898 area. And remember that our 20-day ATR full session is 1890-70, so well within our range. A retest of the upper line of the shorter term downward sloping fork brings us down to 1865, and of course 1865 is that key magnet below us. If we get below that 1868.50, I'd be getting short into this 1865 in a major way. So let's take a look at the intraday going into today. 4 hour, okay. We just closed the 4 hour gap. We talked about this yesterday that we had created we've created that technical gap yesterday, but the trend itself is still very intact on the 4 hour. We created this technical gap and then we closed the gap through time. We just closed it out in the last 4 hours, but the trend itself, as long as we're above this 1870, is still very much intact on the 4 hour. So trends still upwards on the 4 hour. On the 30-minute, we have seen some weakness come down. We've been going sideways most of the night, and then we closed below the 9 in the 20, created a bit of a technical gap there, came up and closed this gap, and we're currently trying to get above the 9 EMA on the 30-minute, but more consolidation rather than a trend so far, but the starting of a possible trend lower. Going to the 15 or 5-minute. 5-minute, you can see that we came down overnight and then found consolidation, and they've been consolidating, popped back above the 9 and the 20, created a bit of a technical gap here on the 5-minute. Tech gap fill will bring us down to 1871, and basically around that balance area, and we're trading around that balance area of 72.75, with the other side or the lower side of balance being that 70.75 area. So let's take a look at that and take a look at the big structure. So currently right now we are trading around the CHVN. We don't need this anymore. Don't want to get rid of the profile. We're trading around this distribution zone right here in around 72.75. The lower side of balance is 70.75, likely to test this other side of balance before the RTH Open. Just below that we have that 1869.75 CHVN, and then what will be a key number for us today is that 1868.50. If we get below that 1868.50, sell, sell, sell into 1864.75. 1864.75 is our composite VPOC going back to October the 9th, 2013. It is also our microcomposite VPOC going back to, I think, February the 21st through to, and I didn't bring yesterday's volume in, but I'll tell you, I don't even have to see it to tell you that it is not going to change. The microcomposite VPOC is still going to be at 1864.75. So if we get below this 68.50, they are going to come down here to pick up buyers. We've had a pretty strong move in the last 5 days. We should get some. We should end up with a rotational day today, as long as news is neutral, and come back down and test this. This 68.50 other side of balance right now, and if we get below that, we're going to come down to the 64 and Doesn't mean that the move to make a new high. My main hypothesis right now, with the acceptance of the 64.75 value on the long-term, mid-term, and short-term, is we're accepting it, likely to go and take out this high at 92.25. Will it be today? Don't know, but it's something that we've got to watch. And then, of course, the big number above 76 and a quarter is that 81.50. We didn't get there yesterday. We kind of stalled out at 78.75. Sellers stepped in to hold us down, but that is our first destination above us. So let's take a look at what's happened overnight and start moving our numbers over to our trading chart. So currently our overnight high is 75.75. Overnight low is 70. And our current VPOC is 74. Could see a shift in there. We got a double distribution overnight, but currently right now it is 74, which is right at the IB high from yesterday. Want to look at this LVN at 73. Keep an eye on that. We're going to mark that LVN on the chart because it's right at our VPOC. And that separates the upper and the lower distribution. The high volume no in the lower distribution is 72 and a quarter, and of course the VPOC in the upper distribution at 74. So if we break below this 73 right here and stay below it, we're likely to come down at least to 72 and a quarter, which we're doing now. So kind of a mute point in pointing it out, but that's something you want to keep an eye on. So let's move to setting up our trade levels. We do have that low at 70 and that LVN at 73, which is also our naked VPOC from yesterday. The value area high, 77.75, value area low, 72.50. So just below that, we have that 71 area or the CLVN at 70.75. Now, yesterday I said it wouldn't be a major resistance area because if we got above the 68.50, we were going to go into price discovery and go and hit that main target at 72.75, which was my first target above. But today we've got to be cognizant of the 70.75 because if we come down and take and break below it, we're going to break below the overnight low. 96% probability taking over the overnight low or the overnight high, and I would say as long as we're below that LVN from overnight at 73 and the naked VPOC from yesterday, that we'll test this low side. There's a couple P-shaped profiles on a couple of the other indices. I'm looking for a little bit of a retracement and a repair of the lower end of the profile today. So I'm going to use that 70.75 as a key area. And below that, you really want to get short into the 70, and really, you know, the number below us is the 69.75 with the 68.50 being the other side of balance and the other trade area that I'd be looking for. So below 70.75, I'd be getting short into 70 with a test of the 68.50. That's where I'd expect responsive sellers to step in. If they don't step in, then we're going to see a rotation back down towards that, 64.75, but the first number below us is going to be 67, and then obviously the range low at 65.75. So I'm going to put, you know what? I'm not even going to do that. I'm going to do this. I'm going to change this up here a little bit. 65.75 would be the first target below 68.50, but the main target, because I do think if we get below that 68.50, we're going to come all the way down to retest and see if we can find buyers with conviction down here at 64.75. So 64.75 is going to be my main target below. It's really a magnet right now. So again, anything below 70.75, look for the test to 68.50. I even get short below the 70.75 into the 68.50. Just want to make sure you get funded and scaled before. It's going to be tough to do, but try to get one off before or right at 69.75 for the retest of 68.50. And test of 68.50 is going to be a major, support area. If we break below 68.50, short the hell out of it into test the low at 65.75 with the main target being 64.75, the composite VPOC and the microcomposite VPOC, because that takes us outside of value and outside of range. Below that, you've got a naked VPOC at 63, but the big number below the 63, back into play again. It's not showing up on my chart, my longer-term chart, but anybody that's been in the homework session knows that 61.75 is a key number below us, and below that, you've got this 1860 area as a trade area. And below the 1860 area, the big number below us is this 55.25, which is the other side of balance. The range in this area around 64.75 is 68.50 to the upside and 55.25 to the downside. So our extended target is going to be down here at 55.25 to come down and test the other side of balance around that microcomposite and VPOC. So this is going to be my extended target. All right, and then below 55.25, okay, we've got the 50-50 area. That's coming up again, and below that we've got a key area. You get the naked VPOC here at 46.25, and then a key line in the sand for us right now with this upward move. It's going to be down here at 45.25. And below that, then I'm thinking 43, 41.50, and then 39, which is the key. And then below that, the year open at 37.75, and the naked VPOC at 36.50. And I don't think we're going to go all the way down there today, so I'm not even going to worry about it right now. But just have those numbers from the last few sessions in your mind. So above the LVN at 73, that's a Globex LVN. Above 73, okay, the other side of balance, we've got the naked close at 74. So anything, if we get back above that 73, get long into the upper distribution of yesterday's profile and that naked close at 1874. And then above 74, you've got the overnight high at 75.75. So those are our targets above the 73. And that 73 you can actually set up as a trade area because you can get long or short off of that. Just be careful. You've got to the low side, it's like a slush zone. Don't get short until you're below 72.50 and into that that 70.75. But above, get long above 73 into the 74 with the rationale that will come up and take out the overnight high at 75.75. And then above that overnight target, we've got the value area high up here at 77.50. just got to be careful. We've got that 76.25 CLVN, long-term price rejection, but it's really this 77.50 that I'd be looking at and looking for responsive sellers to step in there. Above that, I think we go and test the range high and break out of the range high at 78.75, and the main target above is going to be that 81.50. That's where they tried to hold balance after, or hold value, I should say, after going up and making a new high. So this is going to be our main target above.
By the way, Doug, my Globex VPOC did shift down to 72.25.
It shifted down now. Yeah, I figured it might do that. So our overnight VPOC now has shifted down to below the LVN, to the lower distribution. So what that tells me is we're likely to do some repair to the downside coming into the open. So I would now don't pay so much attention to the 73 to the short side. Look for responsive buyers to step in here at the 70.75, but if we get below the 70.75, short the hell out of it and get the move into 69.75 and the other side of balance down here at 68.50. Above 81, there's not much up there above the 81. There's the 86.50, which is the value area high on the shorter term microcomposite. So I would look for that area to be an area for responsive sellers to step in, and then above the 86.50, there's really nothing but the the extended target to the upside, which would be the 92.25, which is our all-time and year high, and then above that, of course, 1900, our centennial number. But I'm not thinking we're going to get there today. I think we're going to stall out. We've had a pretty strong move in the last 5 days up. We've got a couple gaps that have not been filled. We did accept value up here, but we're likely to come down and test that value again at that 64.75. So, I mean, really my main hypothesis is to fail below 70.75, test the 68. If they can't hold 68, come down and test the value area high in a rotation down to 64 and just sort of chop around in this area again. But if they hold 70.75, I think they'll give it another push up to take out the overnight high and test the value area high from yesterday. And if they can break out of that, then I think we break out a range and we go up and hit that 81.50, and then we're likely just to chop around that 81.50 the rest of the day once we get up there, as they just fight it out in this upper distribution. That's my secondary hypothesis. I really think we're going to see some repair to the low side. So let's take a look at the Russell. How am I doing for time, Howard?
It's 9:16 your time.
Okay. Bring up the Russell overnight. So we've got a pretty tight sorry, just got to get my charts here. We've got a pretty tight range from the Russell overnight. We've got an overnight high here at 52.30, which is just above yesterday's VPOC. This is what I was telling you about. There's a couple of the indices that have P-shaped profiles. P-shaped profiles are liquidations and likely to come down and repair the lower areas. The low from yesterday and the value area low is 47.10. It's the one and the same. I really think we're going to get tested to that low side today on the open. Especially, you've got a key LVN here at 49. Remember that 49 was a target for us to the upside. I think it's going to be defining our resistance to the upside above 49. So I'm going to use that as a trade area. Above 49.40, you want to get long into the naked VPOC from yesterday at 51.20, and the close was 51.40. So to me, this will be a key level to trade off of on the Russell today at that 49. Let me bring up the composite so we've got, what's the VPOC overnight? VPOC overnight is 48.90, where we're trading right now. And I doubt that's going to shift unless we come up and test the value area high overnight at that 51 area. So I'm going to put it in right now at 48.90. It's not going to be a real defining number for us because we're going to, probably take it out right on the open. But it's right there at that 49.30, and that's the key level that I'd be watching on the open so far. Let me bring up the composite here. So we broke out of this value and this balance yesterday, got above that that key level and hit our main target, which was that 54 area yesterday. But we're now in this upper distribution. Okay, so what we want to do is we want to use that 49 as a defining trade area, because below that, I think you're going to see you've got the 47.30 is going to be our main, our first target below that, and our overnight low. Remember, you got a 96% probability of taking out the overnight low or the overnight high. Below 49.30, I'd say that it shifts to taking out the overnight low and testing that former VPOC at 47.30 and the overnight low. Below 47, the key area that we want to watch below us, and I know it's not showing up on my CLVNs, is going to be this area right here at 44. So take this down, and we're going to put 44 in to look for responsive buyers to step in to keep us in this upper distribution up here. This is still a pretty blunt area, so I think we could get chop around. Let me put this 44 in here. We could get a chop between this 1160.40, which is the other side of balance to the upside, and 1144 to the downside. Below 44, you want to be targeting this 41.20. So that is going to be our target below 44. And then you want to watch, and remember that 1139 area is going to be our support to the downside below 44, and then below the 1139 area, you've got the naked close at 1138.10, and the big number below, which is going to be this 1135.60, with just below that the 3-day microcomposite VPOC, which is 1135.20. If they get outside of this this 44 and below this 39, take out the naked close, come back down here and see if they can find responsive buyers down here at this 35.20 to 35.60. So that's going to be the main target below us. And I'm just going to front run this at 35.80. But I really think, oh, come on, put it in there. I really think the number is 3520. Just want to front run the naked VPOC and the naked microcomposite VPOC. And then the big number that was our resistance and that push up to test this 49 and 54 area, that's back down at that 3190 again. And to me, that's the major support line on the Russell for holding value above. So 3190. And I'm just going to mark this as major support. Because below that, like the ES, I think below that number, then we're going to come down back into prior balance in this lower distribution, and the key number below us is the 1121. There's a couple numbers in front of it, but the one I'm watching is this 1121 as an extended target. Which is likely where they're going to come down and try to pick up buyers again. To the upside, I think we're pretty well defined to take out the naked VPOC and the naked close and the overnight high and a test of the value area high at 55. 55 to me will be an area I'll look for range sellers and value area sellers to step in and hold us. But if we can't hold 55, the big number above us is going to be, I would target to get funded at 56.20, but the big number is 60.40. That is the other side of the balance, and I think if we break out a range, we're going to go and test the other side of balance. And just above that, you've got your first target above value at 63.20. That's CHVN. And then the other side of that balance, I'd put up at 66.40. And I think, when we get up here, we don't have a lot holding us down. So what I would be doing is I'd be targeting, where they tried to hold, let me just look at this for a second here. They tried to hold value. When they come up here, they tried to hold value at 1187.10. So that's your major target above, 87.10. I don't think we're going to get there today. I'm not even going to put it on the chart. It's way up there. There's a lot in between there. So above 1166, you've got 1170. And then the other side of balance is 7180. Oh, come on. And then above that, you're going to have this 74.70. And I don't think we're going to see much more than that today.
It's about 3.5 minutes to open.
What's the other side of that? Sorry?
About 3.5 minutes to open.
Oh, okay. Thank you. All right. So that's the levels on the Russell. I'll post these two charts in the trade room. Let me just take a look at where we are right now. We're trading below that 73. Look for a push and a failure at 73. If they fail, get short with the break below and get short into that 70-75. But if they get above that, get long into taking out the naked close at 74 and a push to take out that 75-75 high. that's going to complete our morning session. As always, trade well, trade safe, and we will catch you on the flip side.